Mongolia is larger than many countries combined, yet its entire border touches only two neighbors, Russia and China. Before we cross the map, subscribe for a new geography story every day. That simple map has steered its trade, diplomacy, culture, and survival for more than a century. But Mongolia is not merely an empty space caught between two powers. Its unusual position is the modern result of geography, nomadic empires, collapsing dynasties, revolution, and a careful strategy for remaining independent. Begin with the shape on the map. Mongolia occupies more than 1.5 million square kilometers in the heart of the Asian continent. Russia wraps around its northern edge, while China encloses Mongolia from the east, south, and west. There is no coastline and no third land neighbor. To reach an ocean port, Mongolian goods must first cross one of the two surrounding countries. This creates one of the clearest geographic constraints faced by any large state. Mongolia can choose between two broad exits, but it cannot bypass both neighbors. A shipment traveling toward Pacific markets generally moves through China. A northern route must enter Russia before continuing toward distant ports or European markets. Mongolia therefore depends on international borders, transit agreements, rail connections, and customs systems that it does not control alone. Yet the same map that appears restrictive today once offered enormous freedom. Mongolia lies within the eastern portion of the Eurasian steppe, a vast zone of grassland and open country stretching across the continent. For pastoral societies, this landscape supported mobile herding, seasonal migration, and travel on horseback. Movement across the steppe was often easier than movement through forests, deserts, or mountain barriers. The steppe was not an isolated edge of civilization. It functioned as a corridor between regions. Nomadic communities exchanged animals, textiles, metals, food, ideas, and religious traditions with settled societies. Routes through the Mongolian heartland connected northern forests, Chinese agricultural lands, Central Asia, and territories far to the west. Geography made the region both a homeland and a crossroads. In the early 13th century, Chinggis Khan united Mongol groups and created the foundation of the Mongol Empire. From a sparsely populated steppe, Mongol armies and administrators built the largest contiguous land empire in history. The empire eventually extended far beyond modern Mongolia, reaching across much of Eurasia. For a time, the land between northern Asia and China was not trapped between greater states. It was the center of a system connecting them. That empire did not remain unified. Its territories separated into different khanates and dynasties, while political power shifted away from the Mongolian steppe. In China, Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty. After the Yuan lost control of China in the 14th century, Mongol political life continued on the plateau, but without the same continental reach. Over later centuries, power expanded toward Mongolia from both directions. Russian settlement and imperial influence advanced across Siberia to the north. To the south and east, the Manchu-led Qing dynasty incorporated Mongol territories during the 17th century. By the early 20th century, the land now forming Mongolia was governed within the Qing imperial system. Then the regional order fractured. The Qing dynasty collapsed in 1911, and Mongolian leaders declared independence. That declaration did not immediately produce secure sovereignty. Chinese forces reasserted control, competing factions entered the country, and Mongolia became entangled in the upheaval surrounding the Russian Revolution. The decisive change came with the Mongolian Revolution of 1921. Revolutionary forces, supported by Soviet Russia, defeated their opponents and established a new political order. In 1924, the Mongolian People's Republic was proclaimed. Mongolia was formally a separate state, but for most of the 20th century it remained closely aligned with the Soviet Union. This alignment gave Mongolia powerful protection on its northern side, but it also placed the country inside the strategic rivalry between the Soviet Union and China. Relations between those two giants were not always friendly. When the Sino-Soviet split deepened, Mongolia's location became strategically important. Soviet military forces were stationed in the country, and Mongolia's external connections were overwhelmingly directed northward. The map still showed an independent Mongolia, but geography narrowed its practical choices. Railways, trade patterns, political institutions, and military ties linked the country to the Soviet sphere. China remained physically close, yet politically more distant. Mongolia survived as a recognized state partly because it possessed its own institutions and territory, and partly because neither surrounding power could casually treat the country as strategically irrelevant. Another transformation arrived between 1989 and 1991. Mongolia experienced a peaceful democratic revolution, abandoned one-party communist rule, and adopted a new constitution in 1992. At almost the same moment, the Soviet Union disappeared. Mongolia suddenly faced the same two-neighbor map, without the superpower patron that had shaped its security and economy for decades. The country responded with a balancing strategy. Mongolia maintained relations with both Russia and China while seeking partnerships beyond them. This approach is commonly described as the third neighbor policy. The phrase does not mean that Mongolia can create another physical border. It means building political, economic, cultural, and security relationships with countries that are not Russia or China. Those distant relationships broaden Mongolia's options, but they cannot erase physical geography. Aircraft can cross borders quickly, and digital connections can travel farther still. But heavy goods usually depend on land corridors. Mongolia's mineral resources, including coal, copper, and gold, are valuable partly because they can be exported. Moving them in large volumes requires railways and roads leading toward a neighboring market or through a neighboring transit network. China's enormous economy lies directly south, making it a natural destination for much of Mongolia's mineral trade. Russia remains important for northern transport links, energy supplies, and historical infrastructure. This produces an enduring tension. Mongolia wants multiple international partners, but its largest physical connections still run through the same two countries shown on the simplest map. The interior landscape intensifies that challenge. Mongolia combines steppe, semi-desert, the Gobi, and mountainous regions. Settlements are widely separated, and the population density is among the lowest in the world. Building infrastructure across such distances is expensive, while severe continental conditions increase maintenance demands. Landlocked geography begins at the national border, but its costs are multiplied by the distances inside the country itself. The landscape also explains why mobile pastoral traditions remain so important. Herding families have long moved between seasonal pastures according to grass, water, weather, and the needs of livestock. This way of life developed from the environment rather than from an absence of culture or organization. The same open spaces that complicate modern infrastructure help sustain sophisticated networks of movement for centuries. Today, Mongolia's location is both vulnerability and identity. Being landlocked raises transport costs and makes access to world markets dependent on transit through neighbors. Being positioned between Russia and China demands cautious diplomacy. But that position also places Mongolia at a meeting point between Northern Asia, East Asia, and the wider Eurasian interior. Most importantly, the map should not be read as a picture of helplessness. Modern Mongolia has preserved a separate state, language, political identity, and international presence despite living beside two of the world's largest countries. It cannot change its neighbors, and it cannot move closer to the sea. What it can do is manage dependence, diversify relationships, and turn the space between two giants into room for an independent Mongolia. So Mongolia is not simply trapped between Russia and China. Its borders are a geographic constraint, but they are also the outline of a remarkable political survival. The steppe that once projected power across Eurasia now supports a state whose central challenge is different: remaining open to the world while every land route begins with one of only two neighbors.